From WYLN Hazleton, this is WYLN's late edition News at 10 with meteorologist Joe Garbacek, sports with Beth Mensinger, anchors Lisa Sugar and L.A. Tyrone. News, weather, sports, features, and more. You're watching WYLN's late edition News at 10.
Good evening and welcome to WYLN's late edition for Monday, June 24th, 2013. I'm Lisa Sugart. Tonight, saying goodbye to much more than a job. Don Basic's final days with the Hazleton Area School District. And it was a very busy weekend in the WYLN viewing area. We'll take you to a number of places and events. In sports, Beth Mensinger has another round of Little League playoff action for District 18. And meteorologist Joe Garbacek tells us if the hot temperatures will stay with us for the rest of your work week. But first, late edition's look at tonight's top stories. Tonight, a Schuylkill County community is mourning the loss of a 7-year-old girl following a tragic fire this weekend. Our Gary Perna has more from McAdoo.
Saturday night, firefighters from the McAdoo Fire Company were cleaning up after their bazaar when the firefighters smelled smoke. They started walking up and down Kennedy Drive. That's when they found a fire at the rear of 25 South Kennedy Drive, right across the street from the fire station. Crews sprung into action, some without their bunker gear on. This video comes from the McAdoo Fire Company. You can see when the firefighters found the fire. Within minutes, crews realized that people were still inside.
We've heard people yelling for help and found heavy smoke from the rear of the 25 South Kennedy Drive address. Immediately at that time, firefighters determined that there was people trapped in the building. We called the Schuylkill County 911 Center.
Leschko said 4 people in total were taken from the fire to Hazleton General Hospital and then flown to Lehigh Valley Hospital for treatment of burns and smoke-related injuries. They are 45-year-old Lorraine Surfas, 21-year-old Dylan Danko, 16-year-old Savannah Surfas, and 7-year-old Madison Arner. Crews pulled Lorraine Surfas from the front second-floor window. A short time later, other crews pulled Arner from the side of the home. Arner was in cardiac arrest when she was taken from the home. She was revived by firefighters outside in the street. Tonight, the Lehigh County Coroner's Office has confirmed that Arner had succumbed to her injuries. The other fire victims were all released from the hospital today. The smallest fire victim, Maddie Arner, would come and visit the firefighters here at the McAdoo Fire Station. Her dad at one time was a member here. The firefighters say this fire was extremely difficult for them because they knew the little girl.
Madison, when she was born, her father, which was a member of the fire company, like Bobby said earlier today, and he used to bring her to the firehouse every day because he would always be babysitting because the mother would be at work or out somewhere. And she pretty much grew up her first year or two here at the firehouse, and she really enjoyed sitting in our fire apparatus. And she used to sit in the back of the ladder truck and always ask me to go in the driver's seat and take her to the fire with us. So we used to pretend that we were going to fire calls all the time, and I'm going to miss that with her.
We found these stuffed animals and flowers on the front porch of the home. The fire company has set up a fund to help the fire victims out.
Anybody who would want to send any type of monetary donation, they can do that by sending it to the McAdoo Fire Company at P.O. Box 116, McAdoo, PA 18237, and marking it Attention Fire Victims Fund. We'll collect those donations probably for about the next month, and then after that we will get a hold of the family and we will turn a check over to the family with all the funds that we've collected.
Leschko said the fire has been ruled accidental.
Fire was ruled accidental. We did an investigation Sunday morning and we found that the fire had started. It was an electrical fire in the dryer area, and we had ruled it accidental.
Firefighters from Luzerne, Carbon, and Schuylkill County assisted McAdoo volunteers at the scene. Assistant Chief Leschko said there will be a crisis management team on hand Wednesday night to help firefighters, EMS personnel, and police officers get through this difficult time after the fire. In McAdoo, for WYLN's late edition, I'm Gary Perna.
Thanks, Gary. And of course, our hearts and our condolences go out to the family of little Maddie. The woman found guilty of lighting the fire at Lantern Lane in Cunningham back in September of 2010 learned her fate today. Late Edition's Ann Gownley was there.
Gail Schneider will be sitting in jail for the next 14 to 28 years after being found guilty in April of this year for setting the fire at Lantern Lane on Main Street in Cunningham in September of 2010. She was found guilty of 4 counts of arson endangering a person, 1 count of arson endangering property, 1 count of reckless burning, and 1 count of criminal mischief. Today was her sentencing at the Luzerne County Courthouse in Wilkes-Barre. Was lined up in front of Judge David Lupus pleading for Schneider to get the maximum sentence. Valley Regional Fire Chief Rich Bogner reminded the judge that it was one of the worst fires he has seen in his career and that it was an act of God that no one died. Schneider also spoke for herself, saying, quote, "I can't even imagine what you all went through. The fire damaged many lives. I am asking the court for mercy. I've never been in trouble with the law before," unquote. Schneider also said, quote, "I wish this never happened." Fire victim Nicole Buack also spoke up to Judge Lupus, saying from the time of the fire until now, it has been very mentally and emotionally tough. We spoke with Buack after the sentencing, who says the 14 to 28 years Schneider received was more than she expected.
Been a very emotional, 2.5 years, quite a few moves. Now hopefully I can feel more settled, more at peace, not have to worry about her being out and about, and just move on with my life.
Schneider is also required to pay restitution of over $1 million. Building owner Ken Tamborski spoke with us and tells us his reaction to this morning's sentencing.
I think it was well deserved. I mean, after what everybody's gone through, as I said, you had first responders from Wilkes-Barre down to Monte City. You had hundreds of people that would risk their lives, the tenants that were potentially in the apartment and the people that were in the apartment, all their families, the tattooing history that will always be with everybody now that will remember this. And again, nobody's a winner here, and nobody's claiming a victory, but I think now we can bring some closure.
Schneider's defense attorney, William Mealy, who walked Schneider's father and stepmother out of the courthouse, had nothing to say to the media, but during her sentencing, he asked the judge for leniency for his client. Schneider's father also spoke up, saying Gail was raised in a law-abiding environment and asked the judge for compassion for his daughter. Prosecutor Assistant District Attorney Shannon Craig says she is feeling extreme relief and happiness for the victims and law enforcement involved in this case.
She deserved the harshest sentence under the law, and that's what Judge Lupus gave her. And Judge Lupus, he's he can be very firm but also fair, and in this case, the fair sentence for these crimes was the maximum sentence possible under the law, and that's what she got.
This September will mark 3 years since the fire at Lantern Lane, and although it has been rebuilt as Lantern Lane Plaza, Tamborski says the scars will still remain, but is happy this case is complete.
I want to say thank you so much, and after almost 3 years, a lot of people have always say things, but the Hazleton area has some DA and staff to be proud of. State Police, thank you.
Judge Lupus did credit Schneider the 65 days she has already served here at the Luzerne County Correctional Facility, and soon she will be transferred to one of 2 state women's correctional facilities in Pennsylvania to serve out her 14 to 28-year sentence handed down to her today. In Wilkes-Barre for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Ann Gownley.
Thanks, Ann. Hazleton police are investigating a stabbing that took place early Sunday morning. Police tell us it happened here at 15th and Alter Streets.
We did locate a 25-year-old male who was bleeding, was treated by APTS, and was transported to Hazleton General, where he was then life-flighted to Cedar Crest Hospital with a lacerated liver. We really, at this point, don't know much more about this investigation.
Chief DeAndrea said the 25-year-old victim was white. There were 2 unknown assailants. It happened just after midnight Sunday morning. Police are asking anyone with any information to call them by dialing 911.
What we're asking for now is any member of the public to please come forward and notify the city police, 911. They can notify any police department of information they have pertaining to this stabbing.
Police are not sure whether it happened inside the building or out. Police will execute a search warrant. DeAndrea says he's also calling the Code Enforcement Office because police are not sure how many people live in this building. A 41-year-old drumsman is dead following a crash in Butler Township. It happened around 11:30 Saturday night on Old Airport Road. Butler Township police identified him as Raymond Schermerhorn. Police said Schermerhorn lost control of his pickup truck while headed north. 3 14-year-old males were riding in the vehicle at the time of the crash. One was flown to Geisinger, Wyoming Valley, a second taken to Hazleton General, while the third was uninjured. The crash is still under investigation by accident reconstructionists of the Butler Township Police Department. Well, with temperatures in the 80s today, plenty of people hit the water. Cassidy Sherman reports.
The Cunningham Valley Civic Organization brought hundreds of people to its pool today. Kids were excited they could use the pool to escape the summer heat.
It feels good to be in the pool. It's a lot better than playing video games inside. It's pretty much a lot better than just playing around and like out in your yard and feeling pretty hot.
And my favorite part about the pool is just being to come here and going in the water and, going in and doing like anything,
The pool is only open to members. Parents and kids seem to think it's worth the investment.
The diving board is cold, so that's like refreshing.
The water's like steaming today, and I just want them to put cold water on here.
My favorite part of CVCO is diving boards because I like to do dives.
We always went to Eagle Rock and other places, and now that she's in school, she likes being with her friends more, so this is what we decided to do this summer.
To get more information on how you can become a member at CVCO, go online at cvco.tumblr.com. The heat has brought out the communities of Hazleton and West Hazleton to enjoy summer instead of suffering. For YLN's Late Edition, I'm Cassidy Sherman.
Thanks, Cassidy. Well, this Saturday, a beautiful place was officially opened for the community to enjoy, all in memory of a beautiful little girl who was taken much too soon. This butterfly garden was opened at the Helping Hands Society in memory of Adriana Bartle. Adriana was a student at Helping Hands. She passed away from cancer. Her mother, Angel, spoke with us about making her daughter's dream a reality.
She loved this school, didn't want to be anywhere else, and when we talked about the fact that she was going to die because she knew, she was 6.5, but she knew she was dying. She said, I don't want to be buried in the ground with the worms. She said, I want to be cremated, and I want to have a butterfly garden built at my school for the other kids to enjoy. So a whole group of us, about 20 of us, we came out here, and on a wing and a prayer, we had a design, and that was it. So thankfully, we figured out how to use some spray paint on the ground and lots of shovels. And
after the butterfly garden ceremony took place, a white dove was released. A motorcycle run then took off from the school, all to raise money for Adriana's foundation.
The motorcycle run and the benefit that's going to go on down at Towers from 2 to 6 to raise money to start her foundation. You were here, you saw Emily. We introduced Emily, who's one of our kids, and we got her a puppy. That was another part. Adriana's gift and her wish was to make sure that other kids never went without. When she was dying, on her bucket list was get a puppy, and she had a puppy donated to her, and today we got a puppy donated to Emily from Adriana. So she will live on. Nobody's ever going to forget her. In 6.5 years, she lived more than any of us will in a lifetime.
The beautiful butterfly garden is open for everyone to enjoy and to remember little Adriana. Well, expect the State House to dramatically change and reduce the transportation spending package that the Senate approved. The package the Senate approved last week adds a $100 surcharge to every ticket issued and dramatically raises the cost of license and registration fees. That's far too rich for House Republicans. An amendment from Bedford Republican Dick Hess eliminates the fee increases and the ticket surcharge. It also proposes lifting the wholesale gasoline tax cap over 10 years rather than 5. And there would be fewer dollars for mass transit as well. The local match for state transit funding would increase from 15% to 20%, while local governments would be allowed to impose their own taxes to bolster transit funding. After 2 weeks of jury selection, the trial of George Zimmerman got underway in Florida today. INN's Phil Doherty has the details.
8 women and 2 men heard opening arguments today. 2 very different stories about what happened the night Trayvon Martin was killed.
As the smoke and the smell of that fatal gunshot rose into a rainy Sunday Sanford night. Trayvon Martin, 21 days removed from his 16th year, was face down in wet grass, laboring through his final breaths on this earth.
Little did George Zimmerman know at the time that in less than 10 minutes from him first seeing Trayvon Martin, that George Zimmerman, would be sucker punched in the face, have his head pounded on concrete, and wind up shooting and tragically killing Trayvon Martin.
It has been more than a year since the neighborhood watchman reported someone suspicious in his Sanford, Florida neighborhood. Police say Zimmerman ignored instructions, pursued the person, and that then there was a violent confrontation. Zimmerman admits that he did kill Martin, who was not armed, but he says he acted to protect his own life.
That's INN's Phil Doherty reporting. And finally tonight, Twinkies, Ho-Hos, and Ding Dongs are all back on the shelves as of July 15th. Hostess Brands has emerged from a second bankruptcy proceeding in 4 years and has come back with new owners. Hostess is now owned by Apollo Global Management and C. Dean Metropolis and Company. They paid $410 million for the company and was the only one submitted during the bankruptcy process in March. Hostess, founded in 1930, liquidated its assets after a labor dispute with striking bakers. And that's a look at tonight's top stories. Time now to get our first look at the forecast for your work week. Meteorologist Joe Garbacic standing by with our preview. And Joe, the temperature was definitely warm today.
Absolutely, 80, some locations near 90 degrees. How about tomorrow and the rest of this week? Will we continue to see this heat and humidity, or will we see a gradual cool down? I'll let you know coming up next.
All-American Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Tamaqua, PA is a 3-generation family-owned and operated dealership entering their 33rd year of business and continues to uphold the family philosophy that every customer should be treated as part of the family. Stop in and let them show you how they honor these values. You'll meet a family member in every department, from finding your new car in sales to low interest rates and financing and extending your vehicle's life and service.
Give us the opportunity to show you. We're big enough to serve you, but small enough to know you.
Heritage SureSave, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. Come see for yourself. They have the freshest selection of meats, cheese, and produce. Baked goods made fresh on premises. They have an in-store butcher who is happy to accommodate your special orders. Be sure to stop in and check out their unadvertised specials. You'll find them throughout the store. See their flyer for weekly specials. Heritage SureSave, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. This week at Heritage, it's back. Jerry's hot summertime one-day specials. Don't miss the savings.
WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the children's programming report is on file for public inspection at WYLN, 1057 East 10th Street, Hazleton, PA, during normal business hours, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday.
We did have some severe thunderstorm watches, some warnings out there, even some flood advisories that were in effect for parts of our viewing area. Some showers and thunderstorms moved through our area earlier. Not every location saw the locally heavy downpours, but the locations that did really picking up a lot of rain in a short amount of time period. Good news is all that activity pretty much has continued to move toward the east, and you can see there's no watches or warnings in effect for any of our viewing area right now as I speak. This, just don't worry about it. This is just all junk off of the radar site. There are no storms out there right now, so just with a magic eraser, erase all of that. Does not exist. What does exist are our live conditions outside our station in Hazleton, sitting in at 71 degrees, pressure coming in at 30 inches even. And you can see the rainfall since the midnight hour. We picked up only 0.02 of an inch of precipitation. Now, over the past 24 hours, these are the low temperatures. Most locations only in the 60s, even some locations like Philly only dropping down into the 70s for overnight lows last night. So it was a fairly muggy and mild night last night. It's still going to be a mild night tonight, a little bit of a breeze out there, but overall not too bad. But take a look at these high temperatures, looking at 80s in some locations in the lower 90s. Temperature-wise right now across our area, 67 in New Angola, 73 in Berwick, 71 in Shenandoah, 72 in Monomoy City, and 75 in both Bloomsburg and in Danville. Satellites and radar, there you can see. Again, all that precipitation has made its way toward the east. That yellow box was a severe thunderstorm watch that was in effect earlier, but that has since expired. The precipitation has gone through, and really there's not much going on throughout the entire state of Pennsylvania. Now, as we head into tomorrow, we can do it all over again. Numbers are up there temperature-wise, instability in the atmosphere, giving us the chance of some of those scattered showers and thunderstorms here and there. Some locations could get through today without seeing anything. We'll see the sunshine mixed with some clouds, keep the umbrella handy for some of those locally heavy downpours. And this weather pattern looks like it's going to stick around for the next several days, but by the ending part of the week, it looks like we're going to see a little bit of a cool down in our forecast. But tomorrow, we're going to be up into the 80s. Some locations will be near 90 heading into tomorrow night, only dropping down into the 60s. And then notice by the noontime hour on our Wednesday, temperatures once again in the 80s. So we're seeing a little bit of relief from some of that heat and humidity with some of those locally heavy downpours and showers and storms. When they come through, really drops temperatures quite a bit. But for those that don't see any of that precipitation, it continues to be on the muggy side. But we will see a little bit of a break by the ending part of this week and going into the weekend. Extended forecast brought to you by the Wire Guys division of Arc Electric. Don't get too excited by seeing all those lightning bolts and clouds and rain. Doesn't mean it's going to be a washout. None of those days should be washouts. Much of the time it'll be a mixture of clouds and sunshine, but just like today, may have to dodge a couple of those scattered showers and thunderstorms. We're in the 80s heading into tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. Normally milder locations tack on a good 5, 6, 7 or so degrees, which means those numbers will be up well into the upper 80s to near 90. And then a system comes through for our Friday and a weekend. That cools things down a little bit, dropping temperatures to near 80 degrees. Our evening Pennsylvania lottery numbers, a daily 245, the big 4, 5731. Quinto number 72193 and a cash 5, 571325 and 42. Lisa.
Thank you, Joe. When we come back, more than 3 decades dedicated to public education. Gary Perna will have our story when Late Edition continues.
WYLN TV 35 is looking to hire a highly motivated, energetic salesperson for the Hazleton and surrounding areas. We offer a competitive salary and benefits package. Call 956-5772.
Hi, I'm Liz Tolan. I'd like to invite you to the first annual COPS event. It's taking place on September 21st right here at the Butler Township Community Center. This event, brought to you by WYLN 35 in Hazleton, the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance, and other area sponsors, will consist of a 5K run, 5K walk, kids fun run, open air concert, free cookout for the community, crafters, tricky trays, and so much. Proceeds from this event will go to benefit 4 area police departments. When you call these men and the men and women they serve with, they're going to be there for you. Won't you take one day out of your busy schedule and be there for them?
Hey everyone, want some close-to-home fun? Join the Keystone Active Zone Passport program to create your own backyard adventure exploring parks, trails, and events. It's fun, easy, and it's free. This year's Passport has more than 30 stops. Enjoy Riverfest in Wilkes-Barre and Pittston. Explore the Delaware and Lehigh National Heritage Corridor and more. Register at kazpassport.org. Visit as many stops as you want. Each stop has a question. Find the answers and log them in on the website. Start exploring today.
Hey,
it's Justin from Grand Central, announcing how everybody can make the Grand Central connection with the grand opening of our second location on Route 93 across from Berger Family Dealerships. During our grand opening celebration, take part in our weekly $300 Hazel Park gift certificate giveaway. Grand opening price is up to 50% off, free delivery, and up to 36 months interest-free financing. And remember, shop Grand Central, where your house becomes a home.
The Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce welcomes all vendors and crafters to participate in the Downtown Hazleton Farmers Market beginning Saturday, July 13th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 20 West Broad Street. To become a vendor, call 570-455-1509 or email info@hazletonchamber.org.
Managing risk is more than just buying an insurance policy. At Dreyfus, our approach is different. We have 25 risk management professionals who have the tools and experience to help our clients avoid and survive unexpected events. We can help you with risk transfer, OSHA requirements, safe workplace, cybersecurity, and claims management. All of these go well beyond an insurance policy. We're also independent, so we can access dozens of insurance carriers like Grange Insurance, who can insure your auto, home, business, and life. Dreyfus Insurance since 1901 and Grange Insurance since 1935. We're committed to helping you manage risk.
Join us this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. You're going to meet Robert Franklin, who after a childhood injury over 12 years ago was suffering until just one visit of chiropractic care changed his life. It's sensational, but it's true. And it's his story this week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. Join us.
Welcome back. On June 30th, Mr. Donald Basic will officially retire from the Hazleton Area School District. Gary Pernis sat down with him recently to reflect on his more than 3 decades in the district.
For over 35 years, Donald Basic has worked for the Hazleton Area School District.
I started out as a substitute in the school district, then was hired as an elementary grade teacher, then through various changes and so on, became a head teacher at one of the buildings that I was working in, then a vice principal, and then principal, and then moved to central administration as the director of elementary middle schools, and then ended up finally here in the assistant to the superintendent position. So it's been a journey.
Basic has been in his current role as assistant to the superintendent for a few years after the school board removed then Superintendent Sam Marolo from his position, along with the retirements of the Assistant Superintendent Joe Andrews and a curriculum instructor Dr. Deb Carr in the 2011-2012 school year. That only left Basic and Dr. Francis Antonelli in the Central Administration Office. Basic said there were days when they did not know how both of them were running a district this size.
There really were, and certainly it's a tribute to Dr. Antonelli. The fact that we were able to hold the district together for the length of time that we were. I was always raised, though, that you kind of rise to the level that you have to rise to make sure that the work gets done. And I know Dr. Antonelli and I are kind of cut from the same mold. We're both West Hazleton born and bred, and that was the community spirit that West Hazleton had. So, you step up and you do what you have to do.
For the past 35 years, Basic has done so much in the many roles he has played in the district. It was hard for him to pick one moment or one event to be proud of.
If you look at the different areas that you need to get involved with when you reach the administrative level, I mean, certainly I'm proud of the fact that, and I certainly don't take all of the credit because the teaching staff in the district, the custodial staff, the paraprofessional staff, security staff are all outstanding people, and they've been a pleasure to work with for these many years. But we've had so many students that have been so successful. And again, I'm certainly not taking credit for them being successful, but if I was even a small part of some of those kids becoming the successes that they were, then I think that's probably the thing that I'm most proud of when it comes to students.
So what is Mr. Basic going to do once he retires?
I'm looking forward to some new kinds of things. I do certainly have some irons in the fire because I'm not the kind of person that's going to go home and sit on the couch, and I don't think I would last a week in that kind of a situation. But there is a possibility of working with student teachers at a couple of institutions in our area. There are also some things that I'm looking at that are away from the field of education. So I'll be busy, hopefully be able to volunteer doing some of the things that I haven't had the opportunity to do, because of my work schedule and so on. Certainly spending some more time with my wife, because if anything, the one thing that I regret most about the last 35 years is that I probably neglected her more than anyone, and she's always been very supportive, but the nights of correcting papers for hours at a time, or being at meetings now, and being out probably 3 or 4 nights a week and not being able to spend the time that I should with her. Hope we'll get some more time to spend together, and I hope she's going to enjoy that. I know I am.
Probably the one person that has worked with Mr. Basic the most is Superintendent Dr. Francis Antonelli. I asked him about Basic's departure.
The consummate professional. It's going to be really difficult to replace Mr. Basic. In fact, I don't think we're going to be able to do that. His years of experience and knowledge, knowing the district, knowing our students, knowing faculty and staff, you just don't replace. He's professional. He's a true gentleman. He approaches everything in the spirit of what is best for our students. The consummate professional. We're going to miss him dearly.
Basic said leaving is going to be bittersweet. He will miss everyone he works with, but he said it is time to move on. Mr. Basic's last day is June 30th. We wish Mr. Basic the best in his future endeavors. Reporting for WILN's Late Edition, I'm Gary Perna.
Thanks, Gary. And so true, he has always been the consummate professional. It was our privilege to work with him over the years. He was always very cooperative with the media, and we wish him the very best and happiness in his retirement. When we come back, Beth Mensinger is in, and she has plenty of baseball on tap, so stay with us.
When it comes to the wire, guys, you are going to have an amazing experience. And if it means giving you back your money, plus, I'm going to do it. We guarantee everything. 112% money-back guarantee. Labor and material guaranteed for a year. So you don't really need to worry about it. You're going to walk up to the wall, throw the switch, put your power cords in the outlets, and everything is the way it's supposed to be. Call me. Your time is valuable. If we're late, you get paid.
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. For chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and trophy trout fishermen, which is why we've built our new Discoverer AT3 for all traction, all terrain, all the time performance. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
Mario Andretti has won at Pocono.
For years, it was one of IndyCar's crown jewel events.
Heading for the checkered flag, Rick Mears and A.J. Point.
And now they're back.
The yellow is out.
Blinding speeds over 220 miles an hour.
What a battle.
Thrilling wheel-to-wheel action.
Oh, James Hinchcliffe is a winner again.
Kids tickets as low as $12.50. You don't want to miss history as IndyCar Triple Crown returns to Pocono.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Cloud. Recently, I interviewed a constitutional attorney, and he made the point that one of the most important things we need to do to make government better is for state legislators to shore up states' rights. This week, I'm joined by State Representative Tara Toohill of the 116th District. We'll talk about liquor privatization, pensions, and the state budget, and what she is doing to enforce and enhance states' rights. This week on The Storm, only on WYLN.
Welcome to the first half of sports tonight. Over the weekend, it was apparent that Little League baseball tournaments are now in full swing throughout the area. On Saturday afternoon, both North and South teams in the 9 and 10-year-old division in District 18 kicked off their tournament, the North playing in West Hazelton, the South in Tamaqua. WYLN Sports stopped by the tournament in West Hazelton on Saturday, where Hazelton faced off with Whitehaven. There was DeWin Concepcion It's a name you'll probably want to remember. He's doing very well so far in the tournament. Concepcion will hit that long rope over the wall for the home run. Up next, Dalton Burkhart. He was on the mound for Hazleton Little League, and he shows his prowess with that first strikeout there. And Burkhart will get a few more whiffs to retire the side. Then it's going to be Concepcion up to the plate once again. This time, he slams the ball to center field. Two of his teammates will cross the plate, expanding the Hazleton lead on Whitehaven. Then, lastly, it's going to be Michael Pujols. He will be at bat for Hazleton, and it's going to be a nice drive down the third baseline. It will go all the way to the wall. He will get the double, and Hazleton will get the win, 14-0. Other scores from the weekend in the North Division. Hazleton fell the very next day to Valley East, 6-4. Valley West and Tri-County, they both had wins, and Hazel Township is also moving forward. On the south side of the tournament, Tamaqua Blue, Jim Thorpe Blue, and Franklin Township all moving on in the double elimination tournament. Round 2 of the District 18 Little League tournament for the 11 and 12-year-olds was held tonight. Jim Thorpe and Hazel Township were in a tight match. Thorpe out on top 13-11. Lansford wins over Franklin Township, and Tamaqua over Tawamensing. Low scoring one where Valley West, squeaked one out over Whitehaven. Hazleton won 4-1, and Tri-County also moving on with the win over Anthracite. Iron Pigs highlights coming up in the second half of sports. Make sure you stay tuned. You're watching Late Edition on WYLN.
Visit the Luzerne County Convention and Visitors Bureau website at tournapa.com for the listings of the many events you will find in Luzerne County. From wine festivals, hill climbs, tomato and kielbasa festivals, you will find it all in Luzerne County. Luzerne County was named the best outdoors destination in Pennsylvania by the official Best in PA website. The Luzerne County Convention and Visitors Bureau will help you relax, relive history, and marvel at the area's stunning natural beauty. Luzerne County, you'll find it right here in Northeast PA.
Join us this week on Wellness Through Physical Therapy. We're going to talk about weight management, obesity, and we're going to tell you some things that you may not know about how your body works and how you can be on your way to better weight management. It's all coming up this week on Wellness Through Physical Therapy. Join us.
Recapping tonight's top story, a Schuylkill County community is mourning the loss of a 7-year-old girl following a tragic fire this past weekend. Gary Perna has more from McAdoo.
Saturday night, firefighters from the McAdoo Fire Company were cleaning up after their bazaar when the firefighters smelled smoke. They started walking up and down Kennedy Drive. That's when they found a fire at the rear of 25 South Kennedy Drive, right across the street from the fire station. Crews sprung into action, some without their bunker gear on. This video comes from the McAdoo Fire Company. You can see when the firefighters found the fire. Within minutes, crews realized that people were still inside.
We've heard people yelling for help and found heavy smoke from the rear of the 25 South Kennedy Drive address. Immediately at that time, firefighters determined that there was people trapped in the building. We called the Schuylkill County 911 Center.
Leschko said 4 people in total were taken from the fire to Hazleton General Hospital and then flown to Lehigh Valley Hospital for treatment of burns and smoke-related injuries. They are 45-year-old Lorraine Surfos, 21-year-old Dylan Danko, 16-year-old Savannah Surfos, and 7-year-old Madison Arner. Crews pulled Lorraine Surfos from the front second-floor window. A short time later, other crews pulled Arner from the side of the home. Arner was in cardiac arrest when she was taken from the home. She was revived by firefighters outside in the street. Tonight, the Lehigh County Coroner's Office has confirmed that Arner had succumbed to her injuries. The other fire victims were all released from the hospital today. The smallest fire victim, Maddie Arner, would come and visit the firefighters here at the McAdoo Fire Station. Her dad at one time was a member here. The firefighters say this fire was extremely difficult for them because they knew the little girl.
Madison, when she was born, her father, which was a member of the fire company, like Bobby said earlier today, and he used to bring her to the firehouse every day because he would always be babysitting because the mother would be at work or out somewhere. And she pretty much grew up her first year or two here at the firehouse, and she really enjoyed sitting in our fire apparatus. And she used to sit in the back of the ladder truck and always ask me to go in the driver's seat and take her to the fire with us. So we used to pretend that we were going to fire calls all the time, and I'm going to miss that with her.
We found these stuffed animals and flowers on the front porch of the home. The fire company has set up a fund to help the fire victims out.
Anybody who would want to send any type of monetary donation, they can do that by sending it to the McAdoo Fire Company at P.O. Box 116, McAdoo, PA 18237, and marking it Attention Fire Victims Fund. We'll collect those donations probably for about the next month, and then after that we will get a hold of the family, and we will turn a check over to the family with all the funds that we've collected.
Leshko said the fire has been ruled accidental.
Fire was ruled accidental. We did an investigation Sunday morning, and we found that the fire had started. It was an electrical fire in the dryer area, and we had ruled it accidental.
Firefighters from Luzerne, Carbon, and Schuylkill County assisted McAdoo volunteers at the scene. Assistant Chief Leshko said there will be a crisis management team on hand Wednesday night to help firefighters, EMS personnel, and police officers get through this difficult time after the fire. In McAdoo, for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Gary Perna.
Thanks, Gary, and that's a look at tonight's top story. When we come back, a tremendous amount of weekend activities in the WYLN viewing area. We were there for many of them. We'll have the recap, and Beth is back in with the second half of sports.
And how much longer will this heat and humidity last? I'll let you know with the complete 7-day forecast in just a few.
During these changing times, is your insurance program up to date? I'm local Allstate agent Gary McNeilis. I invite you to come into our office or give us a call. We'll help you be sure that you have the proper coverage to take care of all your family's needs at a price you can afford. Now more than ever, you need to be in good hands to protect everything that's important to you. Our team of insurance professionals and I will be honored to serve you. Are you in good hands?
You work hard at fundraising events for your organization. What better way to raise awareness to your cause than to wear a custom embroidered or screen printed shirt from CTC Apparel Plus. CTC makes it easy to create t-shirts that get your message out. Not only do we have packages at different levels that are affordable, but the t-shirts will be name brand, stylish, and comfortable. All it takes is a minimum of 25 shirts to start promoting. There are no setup fees or deposits required. Call CTC today at 570-454-3754.
All Care Home Care, the health care that you need in the comfort and privacy of your own home.
At All Care Home Care, our caring and compassionate staff of skilled nurses, occupational, speech, physical therapists, dietitian, social worker, and home health aides will give you the professional care you need. Call 459-3002.
With All Care Home Care, you will feel so much better and be able to do so much more.
Remember, it's still your choice. For your care, call us and we'll be there.
From motorcycle runs to dragon boat races, we were there for it all this past weekend in our viewing area.
We begin our weekend festivities with a motorcycle run at Death Row Motorcycles in Drums, where the all-day event featured bands, tricky trays, food, and a 50-mile run, all to benefit a special little boy.
Grayson he's a 2-year-old boy. He has leukemia. And pretty much we're just trying to get them as much money as possible to help them out with some of the financial issues that they might be having.
The Unico is a service organization. We're the Hazleton chapter of Unico National, and our motto is service above self. And I started these motorcycle benefits 3 years ago. This is our 3rd annual, and we've been working with Frank at Death Row Motorcycles throughout. And it's really good that we all can get together every year and raise money for a local recipient that's in need.
Meanwhile, Genetti's was the place to be Saturday for the second annual High Mountain Craft Beer Festival. It was sponsored by the Rotary Club of Hazleton.
Oh, it's a wonderful time today. We have about 7 beer vendors out here. We have a couple of vendors selling T-shirts and jewelry, cigars. We have great food, and we have live entertainment from Ostrich Hat, which is phenomenal.
We started out as a fun event for the greater Hazleton area, and the monies that we raised this year are going to our scholarship fund. So it was just a way to raise some funds by having fun.
If cars are more your thing, then Fairway Chevrolet right down the road from Genetti's had just the ticket.
We brought it up to show it. We bought it here. We figured we'd bring it back. We've been bringing it back since 2002.
Well, I'm a Corvette nut myself. I've been driving and playing with these cars my entire life. We've been here in business 53 years. I just thought it'd be something great to do for the area. The Hazleton Corvette Club initially got going with this, and we started out very small, believe it or not, with I think 6 or 10 cars in front of the showroom here 20 years ago. So it's growing. We always get between 70 and 100 cars at this thing, and the weather couldn't be better today.
And another car lovers event was held Saturday at the Laurel Mall. It was sponsored by the Anthracite Region Antique Auto Club of America.
Anthracite Region does approximately 5 cruises a year. This is our 4th one, and tonight's cruise at the Laurel Mall is basically for the benefit of the AmVets Post 1 in McAdoo, and all of the funding that we give them goes towards our Wounded Warriors project. Then we also do cruises for Meals on Wheels, the Animal Shelter, the McAdoo Community Partnership.
This is a 1923 Chevy delivery van. It was originally built by Martin and Perry Carriage Company out of York, Pennsylvania for Chevrolet. I had the original body I picked up in 1966.
And last but certainly not least, the 2013 Wyoming Valley Riverfest continued throughout the weekend. 2 of the major highlights from the big event, Polka on the River as John Stanky and the Coal Miners took to the stage Saturday night, and you saw it live right here on WYLN.
Speaking with the legendary John Stanky, it's a great pleasure to speak to you. How many years has Stanky and the Coal Miners been at it?
Well, this will be our 69th year.
I knew it.
I started when I was 7 years old, and we have been playing since 1945.
That's an incredible run that I don't know how many people in the music business of any genre can come close to matching.
I can't even believe it myself. To say the truth, a lot of times I have to pinch myself to see what we've done and where we have been.
And then, of course, the big finale, the Dragon Boat races on Sunday.
We're here to have a fun time. Yeah, absolutely. Come out here and celebrate Wilkes-Barre.
Enjoy the good weather. Is it your first time doing this?
Yes, it is.
Yes, how do you like it?
It's a blast. Everyone's got to come out and do it next year.
Wherever you lived or traveled this past weekend was certainly a busy one in the WYLN viewing area.
That's a look at some of the things that happened this past weekend in our area. With what's happening in the sports world, Beth is in next with the second half of sports.
The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated at 542 North Wyoming Street in Hazleton, serving the greater Hazleton area since 1890 and still family owned and operated, offers convenient parking, handicapped accessibility, seating for over 150 people, casket, cremation product showrooms to accommodate traditional, cremation, and pre-planned funerals. The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated, 570-454-3341.
For a dealer that will take the time to get to know our needs.
And hook me up with something that has some all-wheel drive and some power. Blam!
And what will you be using the car for primarily?
Cycling, snowboarding, kayaking, you know.
Gardening, antiquing, and commuting to work.
I've got just the car.
And we've got just the dealer.
The right car.
The right price.
The right dealer. Fairway Subaru. Yeah.
Join us at Carmen's Country Inn, where Happily Ever After begins on Sunday, June 30th from noon until 3 for the wedding show of the season, Beautiful Beginnings. The area's finest in service and products will be on hand to show you how you can make your dream day come true. Enjoy a fashion show by Wedding Bells Bridal Shop. Sample a wine designed especially for the occasion by Simply Homebrew. Not planning a wedding? Join us anyway for great ideas on how to make your next social event spectacular. Join us and bring your friends. This event is free and open to the public.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Hey, neighbor.
Lousy weather,
huh?
This is not a good time.
For it to be raining and my satellite dish to lose its signal? Man, I heard that. You mind if I watch your cable?
Look, my kid's having a sleepover.
Right. I'll just watch it on your bedroom set.
Service Electric Digital Cable with On Demand. The best TV in the neighborhood.
Enjoy the great outdoors at the Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range's Trap, Skeet, and Sporting Clays course. No waiting and no lines. First time shooting? Whitetail Preserve employs certified instructors to help you get the most out of your experience. Hungry? The restaurant at Whitetail has a great menu to satisfy and offers catering for all occasions. Whitetail Preserve Shooting Range, approximately 13 miles west of Hazleton and just 1 hour from Allentown, Reading, and the Delaware Water Gap. 118 Boulevard Road, just off the Rockland Road, near Rockland. 384-2314.
The Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs finished up an 8-game road trip this afternoon in Columbus. The third-ranked Clippers were leading the series 2-1. Let's see if the Pigs can get the split. Bottom of the fourth, the Clippers' Nate Spears will single to center field. That allows Tim Fedroff to score for the Clippers. For Lehigh Valley then, it's third baseman Pete Orr to bat. He doubles to center field in the top of the fifth. Steve Susdorf will cross the plate for the Pigs. Then it's going to be Cody Ashe up next. Ashe having a great season so far. He will reach first base on a fielder's choice in the top of the sixth. There's the play at the plate. Jermaine Mitchell, he will be called save. Pigs go up 2-1. Staying in the sixth, Josh Fields singles to right, and he will get the RBI as Ashe scores to go up 3-1. Then Steve Susdorf, he just scored the RBI in the previous inning. He will be out on a sac fly to center. Darren Ruff will run home, and the Pigs will go on to win it this afternoon in Columbus, 9-2. This morning kicked off the first round of Wimbledon, and with it came one of the biggest upsets in the tournament's history. 12-time Grand Slam winner Rafael Nadal faced off with Steve Darcis from Belgium, who was ranked 135th. 3 straight sets later, Rafa was knocked out. It was the first time he was ever eliminated in the first round of a Grand Slam tournament. Nadal had previously been sidelined from tennis for a few months with a knee injury. Darcis is set to face Lucas Cabot on the grass in round 2. The Clippers and the Celtics agreed in principle on a deal that will allow Doc Rivers to become the head coach in Los Angeles. Rivers has agreed to a 3-year contract worth $21 million, the same amount he had left on his deal with the Celtics. As compensation, the Clippers sent an unprotected 2015 first-round draft pick back east. The NBA has already approved the deal. It's quite a switch in the NHL as the Vancouver Canucks will formally introduce John Tortorella as the head coach tomorrow. Tortorella was fired by the New York Rangers last month following a second-round loss to the Boston Bruins. The Canucks fired Alain Vigneault 2 weeks ago. He will now be the new head coach of the New York Rangers. Alex Rodriguez will start his rehab in Single-A ball July 1st. He's been rehabbing in Tampa since undergoing hip surgery in January. A-Rod is expected to need about 20 days of minor league rehab before being called up to the Yankees, which means just after the All-Star break. The Baltimore Orioles have put veteran pitcher Freddie Garcia on waivers and want to option him to AAA Norfolk. Garcia has the right to decline the option and become a free agent. He said he has no plans to retire but hasn't decided yet whether he will go to AAA. 36-year-old Garcia has a 5.77 ERA this year. New York Giants free agent wide receiver Brandon Collins has been suspended without pay for the first 4 games of the 2013 regular season for violating the NFL substance abuse policy. He's eligible to return September 30th. The Southeastern Louisiana product spent part of last season on the Giants practice squad. Now let's check out our scoreboard. It's Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. Chicago leads the series 3-2 on the Bruins. Blackhawks trying to claim the trophy tonight in the third period. Boston Boston holds a 2-1 lead. In the Eastern League, Reading fell to New Hampshire and Akron fell to the Senators. Kyle Landis pitching just 2/3 of an inning, giving up 4 hits and 3 runs in the loss. In the majors, the Orioles fell to Cleveland and the Rays win over the Blue Jays 4-1, ending Toronto's 11-game win streak. For the Phillies, it's game 1 of a 9-game road trip. Lee with the start on the hill. Carlos Ruiz will knock in John Mayberry Jr. to take the 1-0 lead in San Diego, and right now it's 1-1 between the Giants and the Dodgers. Joe Garbacik has the rest of your weather next.
Weatherwood is a privately owned 200-bed nursing and rehabilitation center. Nestled within the quiet town of Weatherly, PA, we offer our residents and their families tranquil and scenic views from just about anywhere in the building. We are located within minutes of Hazleton General Hospital, as well as major metropolitan medical and trauma centers in the Lehigh Valley. Whispering Meadows is a 50-bed secured dementia unit within our facility. Whether you need short-term, long-term, or respite stay, call or stop by today for a tour.
I used to think that me and my dad were just building a car. I realize now that it was a lot more than that.
That's the one, bud. Okay, come here. What's this guy right here? You know what that is?
Find the parts you need at Harry's You Pull It. Visit us online at wegotused.com to shop our yard, or visit us at one of our 3 locations in Pennsburg, Allentown, and Hazleton.
If you haven't found the perfect fishing getaway, you haven't been to Captain's Cove. Located on Henderson Harbor in upstate New York, Captain's Cove offers a variety of accommodations to please just about anyone. The motel, also located on the harbor, offers a magnificent view. Enjoy free morning coffee, air-conditioned rooms, cable TV, and HBO. The cottage can accommodate up to 8 people with 3 bedrooms, a complete kitchen, washer, dryer, 2 full baths, air conditioning, and outside grill and picnic table. Call us today for rates and information at 1-800-824-FISH.
Go hog wild for Iron Pigs Baseball. WILN is televising the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs Live, America's favorite pastime on your local network, WILN TV 35. See the Major League stars of tomorrow at Coca-Cola Park. Don't miss any of the games here on WILN TV 35. Visit WILNTV.com for a complete Iron Pig schedule. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs on WILN, your home for live sports.
Live 35 Skycast Doppler. Yeah, see, really not much going on across the state of Pennsylvania, and as we head through tonight, not a whole lot going on, but then tomorrow we do it all over again like today, some showers and thunderstorms. Still very mild out there right now. 70 degrees our live Lehigh tire conditions. Pressure at 30.01 inches of mercury. We've only picked up 0.02 of an inch of precipitation since midnight. Look at the winds. Really not much of a factor. They're fairly light across our region and get still fairly mild throughout the Commonwealth. 67 Wilkes-Barre-Scranton International Airport, as well as Mount Pocono. 72 in Allentown and Philly. 76 in Williamsport. 79 in Selinsgrove, and 74 in State College up in the Wyoming Valley area from Nanticoke through Wilkes-Barre, Kingston, and Lehman. Air temperatures holding in the mid to upper 60s and lower 70s. Satellite and radar, we had the showers and thunderstorms moving through, even some severe weather moving through and strong thunderstorms. Every location not seeing them, but the places that did saw a lot of rain in a short amount of time period. Locally heavy downpours. But notice nothing happens really much through tonight. Tomorrow, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. In fact, the next couple of days, looks like we're going to have to deal with some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Much of the time it will be rain-free. We'll have a mixture of clouds and sunshine, but keep in mind, may have to deal with some of those scattered showers and storms. So if you have to do anything outdoors, keep the umbrella handy. You may need it from time to time as we progress through this week. Extended forecast brought to you by the wire guys at Division of Arc Electric. If you don't like all of this extreme heat and humidity, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to get a little bit cooler as we head toward the ending part of the weekend, as we head into this upcoming weekend. But until then, we're going to be looking at 80s with some locations near 90 degrees, and then upper 70s for Friday and as we head into this weekend.
Finally, summer.
It is officially summer, and it's definitely feeling like it.
Well, it's about time. We were waiting for it to arrive. So I guess we got our wish. And this is, I guess, perfect weather for baseball, and you've got lots of it going on.
Lots of it going on this week, but I do want to say LA Toronto's right in calling the Blackhawks the winner of the Stanley Cup. They just won the championship 3-2 over Boston.
Aww.
So now hockey's over, so it's pretty much all baseball and Wimbledon, so some tennis.
All righty, and then it all starts up all over again. It won't be
in
long.
a couple months, yep, we'll be back on the football field. So
let's not wish that yet, okay? Not that I don't like football, I just don't like the football weather that comes with it. If they could play football in the summer, that would be great.
And some
don't think
teams
they'd
do.
like it.
Yeah. Some teams do, so we'll see.
All right, everybody, that'll about do it for the team tonight. We will see you back here tomorrow at 5 and again at 10 p.m. Have a great night. Take care.